This is Marketing Sheriff, aka The Quartering, taking out $32,500 while also publicly deriding this entire system. And as you already know, of course, we have none other than Mr. Louder with Crowder. Now, if you want to play a fun game, which you can do at home, you can go to the ProPublica site and start looking up all these companies. Have a gas. Every single time you see someone come out and be like, student loan forgiveness is basically a government handout. This is a non-issue. It's not really going to help anything. Why do we have socialism or communism in this country? Well, check it out. Are they saying that while at the same time enjoying the sweet, delicious flavor, the sweet cash rolling in? Yes, most likely. Most likely. It's a fun game. It's a fun game. Yeah, there you have it. So, time to talk about student debt. What is it? Why do you all have it? Why are you so riddled with student debt, you debties? What's going on? What will it do? What will it change? I have heard from certain other streamers on the internet that apparently the student debt thing is a big old lie. Yeah, that apparently it's only going to affect rich upper white kids, and they're all going to get their debts forgiven, and then they're going to continue to be rich and upper class, and you know, they're just going to use all that money to buy avocado toast because they're obsessed with the avocado toast. And what's going on there? You know, what's all that about? Cancel all, say progressives, as Biden favors $10,000 in means-tested student debt relief. $10,000 means-tested. Fucking liberal bullshit. Student debt is nearly $2 trillion? A $2 trillion crisis, said Representative Cory Bush. POTUS must cancel student debt, all of it. Fresh reporting out Monday night indicates that President Joe Biden is leaning towards canceling $10,000 in federal student loan debt for borrowers with annual incomes below $125,000, a means-tested plan that would fall well below what progressive lawmakers call for the administration to wipe off at least $50,000 off the books of all borrowers. According to CNN, Biden's long-awaited announcement of student debt cancellation could come as early as Wednesday, a week before the student loan replacement and interest fees have been in effect in 2020 is set to end. Administration officials have also recently discussed the possibility and additional forgiveness for specific subsets of the population. Progressives were quick to make clear their dissatisfaction with the latest update on the president's plan, which, while fulfilling a campaign promise, would leave millions saddled with massive student debt balances. The average federal student loan debt balance initiative is $37,667,000. So that's the average student loan debt that Americans have, $37,000. Quite a bit of money. Quite a bit of money. Student debt is nearly a $2 trillion crisis. POTUS must cancel all of it. Proponents of full-scale debt cancellation argue that the president has legal authority to order the educational department to eliminate all outstanding student loan debt, a move they say would come with economic and political benefits while steering clear of the bureaucratic mess that inevitably accompanies a means-tested program. Last year, Biden instructed Education Secretary Miguel Cardona to compile a memo of presidential authority to cancel student debt without congressional authorization, but the document has yet to be released. The White House has reportedly been deeply divided over the political and economic effects of loan forgiveness, with officials such as Susan Rice, the head of the Biden's Domestic Policy Council, arguing the broad-based student debt. Now, what I have been noticing with student debt forgiveness is a lot of people coming out and being mad about it. Student loan forgiveness sounds really... Oh, sorry. Got to read it. It's Stephen Crowder here. Student loan forgiveness sounds really nice to illegal immigrants, people with no life experience, people who don't have families yet, and people who use preferred pronouns. Here's the hypocrisy, everybody. Louder with Crowder took out a loan size of $70,000 American. That's right. And guess what? Not only was it forgiven by the government, by big government, not only was it forgiven, but it was forgiven with interest. Yes, I believe he got even more. Check this out. Because ProPublica has made all of it publicly available. Look at this. $71,208 includes any accrued interest. $71,208 was forgiven. Forgiven. Crowder never has to pay that back. It's gone. Just like that. Yes, it's just free money from big government. Massive fucking government. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? And you know what else is fun? You know what else is great? Every single person coming out right now. We're talking Ben Shapiro. We're talking Tucker Carlson. We're talking The Quartering. Every single one of them, at one point or another, has taken out PPP loans for huge, vast sums of cash and had them forgiven. Forgiven. Yes, the hypocrisy is outstanding. Now, I have nothing wrong with all these ghouls. Your Stephen Crowders, Ben Shapiro's, all of them, if they want to take out loans for their businesses through this program. I mean, it's a little strange that they're doing it while their actual companies are massively profitable. Seems kind of like that was a big problem, that a lot of companies that were massively profitable and were also complaining about socialism, government handouts, postmodern neo-communists, all that kind of shit, were at the same time like,
yes, give me some of that sweet government cash. Yes, hook it to my veins. I love socialism when it's for corporations.
So it gets a little bit worse. We have more receipts. Let's check this out. Ben Shapiro, loan amount $20,000, $832. Amount forgiven, $21,079. I mean, this isn't really crudité money. Okay, so Ben Shapiro wasn't that bad for this, but he also took out other loans. This is one of them. But we can check out Tucker Carlson. $306,757,000. $308,000 forgiven with $888. That's pretty big government handout, Tucker Carlson. Pretty big, giant even. Big government. Yes. It's pretty wild. Pretty nice to have that forgiveness, by the way. And someone in the chat earlier was like, well, I took out a PPP loan, so I was able to pay rent and keep my employees paid. Hell yeah. That's what it should be used for. That's what it should be used for. It should not be used by these massive, monstrous hypocrites who on one end would deride the amount of spending that was in the original bill that Joe Biden passed. Do you remember how all of them were like, this is him, he's a postmodern neo-Marxist, look at him, this is basically communism, it's been unlocked, oh, we are now a communist country, look at the amount that this is going to saddle us with debt, we're going to be riddled with debt, can I have some money, please, I want some money. This is Marketing Sheriff, aka The Quartering, taking out $32,500 while also publicly deriding this entire system. And as you already know, of course, we have none other than Mr. Louder with Crowder. Now, if you want to play a fun game, which you can do at home, you can go to the ProPublica site and start looking up all these companies. Have a gas. Every single time you see someone come out and be like, student loan forgiveness is basically a government handout. This is a non-issue. It's not really going to help anything. Why do we have socialism or communism in this country? Well, check it out. Are they saying that while at the same time enjoying the sweet, delicious flavor, the sweet cash rolling in? Yes, most likely. Most likely. It's a fun game. It's a fun game. Yeah, there you have it. Here's something else that's interesting, everybody, because you keep hearing about how student debt forgiveness is basically just going to appeal to a whole bunch of white people in America. And what would be wrong with that, by the way? What would be wrong with a whole bunch of white Americans getting student loan forgiveness and being able to then put more money into the economy because they would have more spending power? What exactly is the problem with that? Like, do you hate white people? Is this suddenly an exception because it's going to happen to white folks? And then it's like, well, I mean, it's just for the rich, entitled white kids. That's all they want to do with it. It's like, what are you talking about right now? But that's not even true, by the way. The student debt crisis is crushing Black Americans. Here's how loan forgiveness could help. There was no college fund, no family savings to help Jamila Williams pay for school. After she graduated from college and landed her first salary job, her parents reminded her that she would have to help them pay off her student loan debt. It was like, oh well, this is going to take a huge cut out of my small paychecks. Long after her student debt days, the $200 monthly payment has left her unable to cover other costs. She needs to buy pet food, she puts it on a credit card, her car broke down, and she can't afford it to get fixed. It means that in some months, there's only a couple $100s until the next paycheck. I've never had extra cash left over each month, and I can save everything. Like many other Black college students, Williams is burdened with student loan debt, an issue that has catapulted on the national stage amid a debate over debt forgiveness and racial justice. Economists, social justice activists, and Democratic leaders in Congress pushing Joe Biden to forgive federal student loan debt have argued that doing so would help address centuries of racist economic policies, including labor and housing discrimination, that continue to make it difficult for Black Americans to acquire wealth at the same rate as white Americans. The real median household income by race and Hispanic origin, 1967 to 2017. And as you see here, the numbers have remained in such a state that the median household income difference and differentiation between white and Black people in America is roughly sometimes a 10-to-1 ratio. Now, if you're wondering, how did that happen? How did we get here? Easy answer, short answer would be racism. A more historically accurate answer would be a whole bunch of factors that have contributed to this, all the way from slavery to redlining to Jim Crow laws. But the most common way to accrue wealth, intergenerational wealth, and pass it on to the next generation is through home ownership, is through the ability to get a home, through the ability to get a mortgage, and where that home is located, and the value of that house appreciating over time. I'm not even talking about gentrification or other aspects that also complicate this matter, but historically over time, This is one of the reasons why black families have less money, income, accrued and pass it on to the next generation than white families do, even though there's no such thing as white people or black people, ultimately, in the sense that there's no such thing as race, is what I mean. So these differentiations can be analyzed and explained through that methodology. Now, when you got to go to school, it really helps. It really does help if you have parents who can help you along the way, or if you have the ability to get a loan that is not going to completely destroy your life. That will help. On average, if the families of black people in America have not accrued as much wealth, don't have as much intergenerational wealth, haven't done as well as their white counterparts, because again, racism, well, it's going to be that they will be saddled with more debt, they will have to pay for more stuff out of pocket, and they most likely will have to take out larger student loans than people who are in a better position. Now, that doesn't mean that, oh, and by the way, we should also add, what is everyone always told? In terms of like, you got to pick yourself up from your bootstraps. You got to clean your room, bro. You got to do better. You got to do better. Well, okay, I am doing what I was told to do. This is the American dream. Okay, against all odds, my family has saved and done well, and now I'm able to go to college. I'm going to get some training and get into a field I want. It's going to be difficult, but I'm going to do it. And now I'm going to leave that field, and oh shit, there's an economic downturn. Well, that's not great. Whoa, the job market is very, very shitty, and the job prospects are very, very bad. Well, that's also not great. Ooh, well, now I'm also saddled with this $40,000 to $50,000 to $60,000 worth of debt that is going to start accruing interest, which I will never be able to pay down unless I get a good job, and that's becoming increasingly difficult. Ooh, this is tough for really being saddled with quite a choice here. This is shitty. I don't understand the argument when you can see what this effect will have, especially on black students who had crippling student debt, and the ways in which it could help to continue to push up against this as simply being some weird, it only is for middle to high income white people. And again, if it was only going to apply to white people, why exactly does the idea of forgiving student debt suddenly become a burden to you? That seems very odd to me. Well, about 44 million Americans owe a total of 1.7 trillion in student debt. Black Americans on average owe nearly twice as much debt as white Americans, and more Asian and Latinos. Black borrowers who earn less are also likely to pay off their debt and are less likely to pay off their debt and most likely to be behind on payments, according to the Federal Reserve. We're talking about people of color who have been unfairly treated economically throughout the history of our country, says District Columbia Attorney General Carl Racine, along with Democratic Attorney General, has lobbied leaders in Congress to cancel up to $50,000 in student loan debt. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said this month that Biden is weighing on whether or not to cancel, blah, blah, blah. It's a little bit old. In Congress, Senator Elizabeth Warren, who chairs the Senate Banking Committee's Subcommittee on Economic Policy, held a hearing Tuesday on the effect of student debt on racial justice and the economy. Warren said black borrowers face disproportionate challenge in paying back debt. Many black families are unable to pay for college because they have less money than white families. Black households have a higher education, or with higher education, have a median net worth of $72,000 compared with $397,000 for similar white households. Black households without any higher learning have a worth of $12,300, while white families in the same circumstances have a median net worth of $106,000. According to data for the Center for Responsible Lending, a nonprofit research and policy organization based in Durham, North Carolina. Williams University worker has seen firsthand how, having the help of things that families could lead, her boyfriend, who is white and a veteran, was able to buy a house and grew his savings because he didn't have any student loan debt and had family support. In contrast, her black family is solidly middle class. She said her parents didn't graduate from college. Her mother is an office manager. Father is a border patrol agent. Forgiving student loan debt would have a huge step in trying to rectify the racist history of this country. It's a step. There's obviously a lot more that could be done, but I think it's an important step. Total student loans owned per graduate. And so here's the difference between white, black, Hispanic, and Asian in terms of 1992 to 93 and 2007 to 2008. Seems to be getting even worse. If you're a black, you really have no choice but to go to college. Under Biden, the Department of Education has canceled student debt for borrowers who have disabilities, and the federal government suspended federal student loan payments during the COVID-19 economic crisis. The next step should be helping families backed by centuries of oppression and racist economic policies. Now, by the way, the criticism of the left is often that the left want to blame all of their problems on other factors, nothing on the individual. It's always like, well, you know, could have avoided getting drunk and hitting someone with a car, but if not for the systems that have oppressed me. So damn you, capitalism, why did you do that to me? Oh yeah, I shouldn't have had sex with your sister, considering we're in a relationship, but it's the systems that have oppressed me, you see. Capitalism, oh no, how could you do this to me, capitalism? Why did you make me sleep with your really attractive sister? I can't believe capitalism would do that. I'm a leftist, this is how we talk. Yeah. That's usually the criticism. Now, here's the truth of the matter. I think that you should absolutely 100% live and work your best life in terms of try to better yourself and maximize your potential in every single category. Maximize your empathy, maximize your ability to help others, maximize your body, get swole, go exercise, maximize your happiness, maximize your mental health. Do the best that you can do, all right? And in that state, while you're trying your hardest, you should also understand that there are systems in place, systems within our society that sometimes we're not even conscious of, that oppress different people for various reasons. So yes, it would be awesome if every single person who is, say, a black trans man had the ability, if they only worked hard, if those dudes just worked their hardest, that they would succeed in every single way the way everyone else would. But the fact of the matter is, even if they are working as hard as their other counterparts, they may face a whole bunch of forms of intersectional discrimination that will make it harder for them to succeed in life. And in important categories, such as finding a place to rent, such as finding a good paying job, such as not being discriminated in the workplace, all those kind of things will directly contribute to their ability to succeed in life. So even if they are living their best and absolute, they're working as hard as they can, they're living their best lives, if there's going to be a whole bunch of societal factors that we can work on and improve, then why not do that? And that runs all the way to why should people exploit other people for their labor when you can have a system in which people have democracy in the workplace, in which people have equal say, in which people are paid the actual wage that they earn. That's just, let's take it a couple steps further. All right, that would be my little teeny PSA. Also, don't cheat on your partners. Do not cheat on your partners with their attractive sisters. That is a very terrible idea. If you wanted to get with the sister in the first place, you should have gone after the sister instead of, marrying the other one. Don't ever do that. That's a terrible policy. Don't go after the hot brother. I'm being completely honest. Don't go after the hot brother. Why aren't you with that brother in the first place? It's like shame on all of you if you're trying to. All right, it's important to this conversation. And if you're wondering if this is a self-report, my partner doesn't have siblings, so yeah, you don't get it. You don't get that one, everyone. You don't get to clip that and then be like, oh, Lance is kind of doing some confession. I think he slept with the sisters and brothers of his partner. All of them, the entire family. What about hot dads? Well, I mean, I'm completely okay with if you're going to go after hot dads. I mean, go get those hot daddies. That's fine, but don't cheat on your spouse in pursuit of that hot dad unless you're in some kind of an open or polyamorous relationship and your partner's completely fine with you getting with the hot dad. Well, then mashallah, go forth and enjoy it. That's all I can say. Yeah. How can communism be achieved if you don't bang your partner's siblings? Well, I mean, that used to be what we believed, right? I mean, those were the words of Marx, or I think that maybe that was Engels. That was Engels. Marx was kind of half a foot in the door there. But yes, but we've changed, all right? We no longer believe that in order to usher in the revolution, in order to have a dictatorship of the proletariat, we need to sleep with all the hot siblings. That's no longer official policy. We've improved, and so should you, is what I'm saying. That's it. Yeah. Fucking hypocrites. Government handouts.
Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form. Available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Juste, we shall spend many a generations building mighty cathedrals in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your oafish jesters, here to offer you a laugh at any opportunity. To our brave knights of the Round Table, Rachel K., Izzy Solidarity, Victoria Bell, Sebastian Demel, Mark Harmon, Benji Arney, Scary Earth Human, Tony, DM Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Brandon, Words Greenwood, Everything Important, Hegbert Celine, Matthew Scarborough. Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Doug Cady, Daniel Sutton, Jenna Tal, Dark Puppy, Quiet One 85, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, Multimondi, Trevbot EXE, Brian Ephraim, Anthropophojack, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Inkosin, Ralph Parler, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, La Media Panza, Todd Buckingham, and Todd La Jeunesse. We salute our valiant heroes off to fight injustice everywhere.